Good evening. This is Brian Rowley, Brian Dream Trader in Convergent Trading chat rooms. And this is what I intend to show on my chart. And I will basically point out where one might have picked out, where we might have found the bottom today using this method, which I put this together some time ago. And if I take one trade tomorrow, this will be the setup that I'm looking for from either the top down or bottom up. So let's look at it on the chart, and I'll just walk you through the CCI divergence, high volume candle, fib levels, pivots. The first confirmation is the Stoch RSI moving in your direction. And the second confirmation is this is pretty important that you make sure you're not getting in at a time when KST is not with you, because KST is momentum. And later, after you've got these first two things done and you know KST isn't going too hard against your trade, then you're looking for this third confirmation, which is KST flattens. I'll show you that too. So after KST crosses up, this is actually saying, this is the, for lack of a better term, this is my stay in the trade signal. Okay, so let's look at it. Here we go. I'm going to use this chart because it has all the indicators on it. It's got 5 different indicators, and we'll start with let's go to see what time it is. This is 10 o'clock today, and we're trying to find out what or where and how it's going to bounce. So this isn't the best example of it, so I'm going to find the one with the higher red candle. There was a pretty good one there. This is a pretty tall candle, okay? And then we're going to look back, because you're going to say, well, you had a taller candle over here, right? So here's what's happening. We're looking for these signals. I'll bring back my notes just so you can see. Divergence. Okay, so we need CCI to be in divergence, which means for me, this is, if you look over here, the value of CCI will be displayed there in red. And so that's 176. So you could say if this goes down and CCI is going up, then you have divergence. So one of the things that I've noticed over time is that if I look for signals that are below the negative 200 level on CCI, I get a much better opportunity, because CCI kind of shows you momentum is really pushing to the downside. If it gets below this, it's kind of close to exhaustion sometimes, unless it's a horrendous sell-off, in which case you can see it down here at negative 300 sometimes, but it's pretty rare. So the reason I didn't look for divergence over here is because you can see there's no CCI that dips below this line. This is the first one that's below it. So that should get my attention. Actually, I should set an alarm for that, which I will do later. But with this at 200, negative 200, the reason you don't buy this candle or anything after it yet is because of KST is still coming down hard. So this is momentum. It's after the fact, because the momentum is here, and this is really showing it to you here. But the point that I'm really going to make is about the CCI divergence, and what I want on a really good one is a lower low. So if I know, and I'm going to adjust this just a little bit so you can see this candle, find its bottom there. Oops, I need to put a line right there, right there. Okay. So that's 23, right? Now this candle happens to be one of the tallest candles in the picture right now, right here. So we'll just mark that right there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Close enough. Let's see. All right, let's watch this candle. I'll say this one right there. That candle. You can see how it's a pretty standout as far as selling. All of the selling was here, and then you got this big sell-off on this candle. So that starts to get my attention. You've got this is the first thing that says you better start watching for this, and then this is almost like a second confirmation. But because of this line going down here, because this guy's still coming down, you really can't do anything yet. Okay, so you're kind of waiting for this to flatten out. But the divergence we're looking for is this. I get a little ray here, like this, and put that guy there, and there. And that didn't draw anything, so let's try again. Apparently I don't have all my tools in line here. All right, this one. All right, so here's the occurrence of CCI under 200, and then you'll see it starts coming up, right? And so when that next low comes, this candle, CCI actually is showing divergence already. CCI is going up, price is coming down. So that's divergence. What we're looking for next, after you notice that the price is still coming down and this is going up, you want a candle that's lower than this. But you also want this little angle here. This is like your second, this is the second confirmation in the notes. So you see that's coming up, this guy's coming up, this guy, you want him to flatten out. Eventually he flattens out right there. So see if I can put a line there where that flattens out right there. All right, so with all of that in place, you're watching for the next low, which is this here. Okay, so there's your low. And that's a buy signal. So just for the sake of, if you wanted to be extra careful and say, well, I don't necessarily want to buy there because I don't know if maybe it's coming down for one more leg down, what you get with this nice green bar, first of all, you've got a bullish engulfing. That is a bullish engulfing candle right there. And if you didn't like that one, you're sure going to like this one. Okay, because it's above all this, and this guy is going up, obviously, and this guy has crossed. This is the KST crossing to the upside. That is a confirmation if you're already in the trade. So I'll draw a box around that right there. And I usually do something like this just to make it really clear what that's all about. So put a line right there. Okay, so that's where KST crosses to the upside. So if you were watching, if I get my alarm and it comes on when this thing touches below 200, and the next time it comes down is actually right here. So really, the divergence happened on this candle right there. Because you can see that is negative 181.66, and this one is negative 261. So there's your first divergence. CCI divergence is there, but you need to wait for this guy to kind of stop taking a dive. But this guy really does you right here. This guy being the Stoch RSI down there. This is the signal you need to say this is momentum that's starting to pick up already to the upside, which is perfect timing when you look at it, because if I back it up to this candle, you can see it's coming up, but it really gets started there before we ever get to below these candles here. So if you were sitting here, this guy already went up a little bit, and you had your order planted at 23 or below, I probably would already have some fibs on here just to mark the area. Let's see if I reset this, I have to go back. So the fib would look like this. If I had it drawn on there, I would be taking something like this, and from a top down to the next top up. So I would have some fibs that look like this. 188 is there, In fact, I was looking at these today. 19 and a quarter is right there. So you want to find one that's below the 23 because that's the low of that low candle from before. So anything under 23 is fair game, but here's 19 and a quarter, and it just, let's see, does it get there? That low is 20.50. So even if you don't buy these, even if you don't manage to buy that, you can still wait for this to turn up. Once the KST crosses up, you can buy anything here. Let's do that. Let's put that over there. So let's go like this. So KST at this point has crossed up, which makes any of these candles worth buying right here. You've already got, everything's going up. These are the 5 things that are happening at the same time, right? So this is going up. This guy's going up. This is crossed over and is headed up. That's momentum. And the main thing that you really want more than anything else, price is going up. So if you got really lucky and you managed to buy here, that's great. And this is your, oh my goodness, I'm in a good trade signal right here. You could add to your position here, or if you didn't get in down here, you can buy it right here after this nice green. Look at the volume on that nice green candle up. You got a lot of reasons to think that this thing is going up from here. So let's just say you got in, and let's just say you got in late and you bought over here in this area. You've got this 38 points to the upside. And yes, you can find that too, because you can do a fib the other way around, right? So you can come this way and down from here and figure out that there's a fib right there. That's your 1-to-1, and it didn't quite get here. There's a better way to draw a fib for the upside as far as I'm concerned, and that is an extension instead. So I'm going to take off all my fibs for the moment, and then I'm going to draw that one. And you can believe that I draw these fibs all day long because that's just my habit. And this is the range that I like best because of somebody else who was telling me about trading options. He said if you get to this 1.272, the 127% fib, you might want to consider taking some profits there. And I like it between 71 and 74. I think that's a great place to take profits. So that's the whole story on the setup. And remember, it starts with an alarm. And so we'll put a new alarm on there. We're going to say it's CCI crossing value of negative 200. CCI crossing negative 200. Okay, so I'll create that alarm now, tomorrow, if this happens again. And CCI does this little dip right there. I should get an alarm right there. It's pretty interesting because you can see that little yellow line is the alarm waiting to be triggered right there. So there you go. So tomorrow I'll be watching for this. We'll see if it happens. If I take only one trade tomorrow, this is the trade I'm going to take. And if it comes from the top side, I'll go find one of those to show you the same idea. So let's see what's a good one. All right, I'll find another example of top down so you can see it works in either direction. But that is the explanation of my setup. That is the CCI with high volume selling event in this case, followed by, along with Divergence and Stoch RSI coming up, followed by a KST cross, which says if you got in, stay in. You get out if it starts to turn down like this. So you could really stay in this trade till over here, from here to here. And this is not the example I showed. This is what's happening in after hours today, but you can see it still happens. CCI divergence there, and you buy when that guy crosses. If you only bought this, you still get that much move. So I like my setup, and I'm going to trade it tomorrow, and I hope I don't take 100 trades tomorrow like I did today, but we'll see what happens. And between that and a couple of other charts I have, I hope to take fewer trades, make more money, and have less stress in my day tomorrow. Thanks for looking at this. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon. This is Brian Rowley, Brian Dream Trader on Convergent Trading Platform. I'll talk to you soon.